kind wild ones, it's Bernadette. I'm here with your Pick a Card Daily Tarot reading for Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. Y'all, I'm so happy this card came in this morning because some of you took issue with yesterday's reading. I got hate mail. I did. So for those of you that just were triggered by or weren't in a place where you wanted to hear it or couldn't accept it or whatever, yesterday's message from the Dark Night of the Soul card, the Five of Pentacles, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like, please don't shoot the messenger, you guys. My agreement is to show up, with spirit and give the most authentic messages possible. And sometimes spirit downloads me with things that are, they're serious and they need some deep diving into. And so don't shoot the messenger. And for those of you that were like, oh, I totally see that. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you, because it's not about me that, wants to be like, I did a good reading today. They like me. They really like me. It's not like that. It's about the messages getting you where they need to get you so that you can do more of whatever it is that you want to do. Spiritually ascend, have more confidence, self-actualization. That's the only reason I work in this industry is it's the only reason I'm a metaphysician, shamanic practitioner is because of what I have been called to do. Yes, but it's because of what just the experiences and the messages and the learnings and, all of that, what it can do for your spirit to move ahead. So I was eternally grateful. Thank you, animal allies, that the pufferfish showed up for today, which is the Nine of Cups in the arc. For those of you just joining, thank you for subscribing, and thank you to my long-time subscribers. I read with my own award-winning, record-breaking, history-making, best-selling deck, the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. And the tarot cards in there are based on the Rider-Waite deck, right? All the symbolism and meanings of those tarot cards in the Rider-Waite system. So Pufferfish is the Nine of Cups, is the card that says, I have arrived. I've had all of these I've done all of this. I've got all of these great accomplishments. Look at me. And I love that because you guys, we're just so indoctrinated and we're so, just controlled to think that we should not speak of our accomplishments, to say that we should not give voice to the great things that we've done. And while I'm not saying the pufferfish is a call for you to go out and, brag to the world everything you've done, this fella who's sitting there, some people will look at his crossed arms and they'll be bothered by his smug look. But has he earned it? Maybe. In this card, definitely yes. Because he's been through the fire, he's been through the initiation, and look at where he is now. The other thing is, when you take a look into this card, some people will see these crossed arms as defiance or just that whole posturing thing that people do, like in the commercials where, those are not doctors, they're paid actors, and they're standing there like, yes, I'm a doctor, or yes, I'm an attorney, or yes, I am important, that power stance. Notice that when your arms are crossed like that, it looks like the number 8, which is the number of infinity. So today this card means that you have an infinite amount of possibilities inside of you and an infinite way to fill all of your cups in back of you, your gold chalices, with whatever your favorite drink is, whatever your favorite whatever is. It doesn't have to be filled with whatever, just a random whatever. Now's your chance. If you let's say you're an expensive champagne drinker, or let's say you make some crazy high-end or love this crazy high-end kombucha or rare spring water, or liquid chocolate, y'all. I'd be filling mine with hot fudge, and I'd be dipping things in them. So there isn't even a fine line between being braggadocious and honoring yourself. People will understand what you mean because of the intent, because of the words and how you say it. And even if some people don't, like yesterday, some people were just like, ugh. And you know, and some people were like, wow. And I've already gotten a couple of emails this morning of people that were inspired from yesterday to go volunteer and do things that they hadn't even thought about doing before. And already, the second that they committed to doing that, the second that they started to think of that, something magical happened in their own life. But you see, that only happened because it was pure. It was a pure intent. It wasn't like, ooh, I'm gonna get me some karma cash, right? I'm gonna get me some soul currency and I'm gonna, go do good things. Ooh, what's coming for me? It wasn't like that at all. It was completely authentic, right? Okay, so in taking a look at the tarot card meanings for the Nine of Cups, just to go through them very briefly, and I do want to say something about today. The ruling chakra is the sacral chakra, which is where all of your passion and your lust for life, it's that fiery orange. Today is a great day to talk about accomplishments. And today is a great day to talk about the infinite possibilities that you have open to you today. Today is a great, great, great day to talk about it because the ruling planet of Tuesday is Mars. And that's that, again, that fiery, ready, aggressive, let's get it, let's get her done, let's go, let's go. So anything that you've been hypothesizing starting, or maybe you're in the middle of, or you're almost to the finish line, the time is now. And I'm listening to a lot of people say, well, after the first of the year, after the first of the year, after the first of the year. Okay, why would you throw the baby out with the bathwater? Why would you not move forward with whatever this is that you're creating or wanting to accomplish right now, this very minute today? I mean, watch the rest of my video, of course, before you start. But why would you miss 9 beautiful days? Who knows what you're going to come up with in those 9 days? And accomplishing, so I have a friend, oh my gosh, this guy's a genius, pure, he knows everything there is to know about the internet, and then some. And I love it when people talk about him being, maybe not the hardest worker or the this or the that, because he does a lot of sitting around. He does a lot of reading. Okay. And through all of that sitting around and reading that he does, anything the man touches turns to platinum. Not even gold, but platinum. Because he's already invested in the thought process, the analysis, the research, the all of it. And by the time he's ready to move, it's like Sun Tzu's Art of War. You don't start a war unless you absolutely know from the outset you're going to win it. He doesn't start anything unless from the absolute outset he knows he's going to win it. And he does every time. It's amazing to watch. So again, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Use these next 9 days to move forward in your accomplishments, because even though the Nine of Cups looks like it's about bragging rights and all the material, the Kabbalists call this card the Lord of Material Happiness. And this, okay, why do you want to put a cap on that? Which is what pufferfish is all about. They puff up to create boundaries, right? To draw their boundaries, so that, because the poor little things, without the poison that they have in their system, which is unbelievably deadly. They are actually the second most deadly animal in the world when it comes to venom, toxins, poison. Second, that cutie little pufferfish, boo, 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 boo. It'll stab you dead, right? So don't get near it. There's only like 2 kinds of pufferfish that don't have those toxins in them. But, those big spikes, and somebody comes along and takes a crunch of that, ow, that's going to hurt. And sharks are the only animal on the planet that we know of so far that are immune to the poison that pufferfish let out. So I would encourage you that for your material success, don't set the boundaries. Now, am I saying don't have clear intentions, don't set clear intentions? No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that when you think about what you want to accomplish materially, don't say, well, I shouldn't charge this for this, or I shouldn't charge this for this, unless you've got an enormously rational reason. And is it rational to want to limit your own abundance? I don't know. Maybe you know yourself better than anybody else does. And what that means is, maybe if you're a person that would lay your hands on a for real abundance, you might become somebody different. or you might spend through it all inside of a few months. Lottery winners, my gosh, I've read histories, watched specials about them. It's like 95% of them blow through their winnings within the first year or two. It's crazy. um, and so there is a mentality that goes along behind that, but not today. Not today. Today is that day to let whatever it is you want to accomplish start rolling around in there. And here's why. Whatever it is that you want to accomplish, it's a deeply spiritual mission. I say all the time how much I want the Arc Animal Oracle and Tarot deck to be one of the top 3 sellers of all time. I'd love for it to be the best seller of all time, but it's going to be tough to beat the Rider-Waite deck, which is the standard that has been around for decades and decades, right? But through the sale of the Arc, through the getting the messages, the animals out there and that kind of thing, it has raised the awareness of animals. And the beautiful emails that I get for what you people, you guys have done, you're gonna do, you are doing. My gosh, we really truly are the wild ones. Now, having said that, when people are thinking about setting boundaries, they're always looking on the outside of them. And that's what this whole thing about don't waste these next 9 days. It's a minute gone is a minute you don't get back in this lifetime. And it's just like, well, I don't want to charge this for this, or I don't think I should charge this for this, or, oh, that's too much. I'm not worth that, or my service or my product or whatever. I don't know. The people will pay that. That is a boundary that you're setting for yourself on the inside. And that should hurt. Like those little sticky Barbie things they're all little swords, right? Little wands, little swords, all over this fishy fish. Are they sticking you inside? That's a question that only you can answer, but it certainly is one that bears thinking about. Now, when you take a look at the red hat, this guy is wearing, and okay, maybe it's a gaudy feather plume, but the white garment, that's where you see that his heart is pure. So if you're coming at your accomplishments from a place of purity, this is the time to do it. This is the time to do it. And count on that infinity symbol. You have infinite possibilities. You have infinite opportunities. You can have infinite abundance. All of those things, especially as it ties into you're working with the animal kingdom and with the animals of the Ark. That's all about staying wild. That's all about not letting anyone tame you. But you see, they look on the outside a lot, but are you taming yourself? Don't do that. Don't do that, because then you're always the only one that can untether yourself. It just tends to be a little more difficult if you're untethering yourself from something you have perpetuated on yourself. If that makes sense. Okay. So what's so spiritual about material wealth? We've already gone through that, but I want to repeat it because let's say that you're an accountant. Okay. Oh, this is so perfect. I happen to know an accountant that works for one of the big publishing houses. And because she's one of the big metaphysical publishing houses, and because she is so surrounded by metaphysical people, spiritual people, she just always feels so badly that she's just doing numbers. So I looked at her one day and I said, if they didn't have you to just do their numbers, how would they get their products moved and keep the company solvent and do this and do that? And she goes, well, they would just hire another accountant. Okay, but you're their accountant now. And so what really are you helping to do? Well, I said, no, you're part of the cog in the wheel. Without your cog, without your whatever, that wheel can't turn. And if the wheel can't turn, it can't do this. And then those products can't do this. And then those people can't do this. This gal's been there forever and a day. She never thought about that. So today is your day to honor yourself. Today is a day to look at who you are, where you are, what you're doing. And I guarantee you're full of accomplishments already, and contributions to yourself, to society, to the world, that you're not even honoring yourself and being accomplished with. Now, just very briefly about pufferfish as a spirit totem and power animal. When it comes to spirit animal meanings, pufferfish, we've already been through a lot of the symbolism there. The one thing we haven't talked about is the expanding ideas, which ties into that number 8. Whatever you're thinking today, it's too small. It's too small. It's not enough. Meaning, it's not to put pressure on you like, oh, I'm not doing enough. It's to say that you've set those boundaries inside of yourself and are not allowing yourself to, it's not even dream the big dreams, it's pursue the big dreams, to even think of them and then start pursuing them. Today is the day of expansion for you. Today is the day of the Mars energy for you. Today is the day of pufferfish. I claim Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020 is National Pufferfish Day, which doesn't mean a hill of beans to anybody else in the world. But also remember the numbers today, 12/22, 2020. Now, I understand in traditional numerology, you add them together and you boil it down. But I always like to take a look at the most obvious things first, which is 12, the number of completion, the perfect number, 22, an angel number, a repeating number, and then 2020. Lots of twos, lots of 20s, lots of repeating numbers, lots of angelic kinds of things going on. Today is the day, you guys. Please let yourself be free. Take the boundaries off from inside of you in a healthy way. Don't eat that big old box of red hot tamales like I did yesterday. Lord, I'm surprised I'm not in a sugar coma by now. But you get it, the kind of boundaries. So I hope this has been helpful. Pufferfish is here for you always, and I'm always here for you. All your animal spirit guides are always there for you because we have faith in you. We believe in you, and we know that above all else, you are always going to stay wild.